Gen V is a spin-off of the series The Boys, and today I'm gonna rank every student from God U from weakest to strongest. Before we begin, I'd like to mention that I didn't technically rank every student we see in the show, only the ones we actually have information on about their powers. I'd also like to kindly ask if you'd like and subscribe, and enjoy the video. At number 14, we have Dusty, and Dusty is a very minor character in the show, but we do know his powers. He has decelerated aging, which makes him age slower and extends his lifespan. In the show, Andre reveals that he's actually 28 years old, even though he appears as a teenager. But outside of that, he has no other really special skills or abilities, so he's easily last on this list. And at number 13, we have Harper, and Harper is pretty much in the same boat as Dusty, but I guess her ability could be used in more of a powerful way. She has a tail that she can use to attack people and pick up objects. She also has superhuman durability, which Dusty does not have. But again, she really doesn't have any other special skills that we know about, so she's sitting at second to last on this list. Number 12, we have Justine Garcia. Put her higher than the other two because she actually has a regenerative healing factor, which I think helps her out a lot because she literally took a punch from Jordan Lee that completely destroyed her jaw, and she healed up from that very quickly. Not to mention that she also has superhuman durability, which also helps a lot. I'm kind of going through these early characters pretty quickly because we just don't have a lot of information on them. And speaking of people we don't have a lot of information on, next up is Tyler Oppenheim. Literally all that we know about him is that he has the power of intangibility, which basically means that he can move through solid objects. Besides that, we know he has some level of superhuman strength and superhuman durability, but we don't even know the extent of that power. So with that being said, we can move on to someone that we do know more of the extent of their powers. Number 10, we have Emma. Emma is one of the main characters of Gen V, and she has one of the cooler powers in the show. She has the ability to change her size. Downside of this though is that to shrink she has to literally throw up, which is not ideal in any situation. But she has the ability to shrink to the size of an ant or to grow to the size of a 2-story house. And later on in the show, she actually is able to shrink without purging, which implies that her powers are actually dependent on her emotions rather than consumption of food. So she might be a little bit more powerful than what we've seen from her so far. When she grows in size, she also has superhuman strength and superhuman durability. And then when she shrinks, she can crawl inside someone's ear and literally kill them, which is pretty broken. The main reason why I put her on this spot on the list though is that most of the people ahead of her on the list are going to God U to actually fight crime, and that was not her intention at all. So I think she deserves her spot at number 10 on this list. Number 9, we have Maverick, who is actually the son of Translucent. Similar to Translucent, he has the power of carbon skin, which means he can reorder his skin into carbon metamaterial. That metamaterial makes him invisible. Along with this invisibility, he has superhuman strength and superhuman durability. As far as his strength goes, he can overpower Marie Moreau in a fight, but then his durability is nowhere near as strong as his father's, because he's also knocked out by Marie with an object. He has lacerations on his skin, which means he's not impenetrable either. But while still being strong, he's a pretty big step down from his father. And at number 8, we have the incredible Steve. Steve is the guy we see fighting Golden Boy at the start of the show. Luke ends up overpowering him and literally ripping his arms off. But even being able to fight Golden Boy is a pretty impressive feat. We know he has a very high level of superhuman strength, even compared to your average soup. But more impressively, his durability is pretty crazy. He takes some blows from Golden Boy, and then when he gets his arms ripped off, he doesn't even react, which means his pain tolerance is insanely high. And his healing factor is also pretty crazy because he literally just gets his arms reattached. Unfortunately, that's all we've seen from him though, so I can't really say much more about him. That means we can move on to the next person on the list. Number 7, I'm putting Rufus. And Rufus has the power of telepathy, which gives him the ability to see into other people's minds, but what makes his power really good is that he only needs to be in a specific proximity of the target. Like someone like Kate, he doesn't have to make physical contact with them, which makes his power pretty strong. At close range, he can also hypnotize people and put them in a trance-like state. Along with that, he also has the ability of clairvoyance and astral projection. And impressively, he has pretty good durability because he can take an energy blast from Jordan Lee. He also gets slammed through concrete by Andre and does not suffer any injuries from that. We also know that he has some level of healing factor. That being said, his weaknesses are that he can still get stunned pretty easily and he has to get close to his targets. Also, to add to that, even though he has all these really good abilities, I just don't think he's that powerful with them. That's the main reason why he's number 7 on this list. So at number 6, we have a big gap between 6 and 7. I'm putting Andre Anderson. I'd just like to quickly say rest in peace to Chance Perdomo. Played the character and he tragically died in an accident. Just wanted to mention that really quick. Andre was also one of the other main characters of the show, and his power is magnetism manipulation. He is able to fully control metal and completely reshape it entirely. He normally has to use his hands to shape and form the metal, and his weight limit of the magnetic manipulation is 12 tons, which is absolutely insane. He can also control metal things in hardware and software and motherboards, which lets him have some manipulation over technology. He does have some superhuman strength, but it's a very low amount. He can only max bench press 350 pounds. And to compensate for his strength, he has remarkable durability. Only 2 people we know of at God U that are more durable than him are Golden Boy and Jordan Lee's male form. While his abilities are really simple, they're really effective. So he easily deserves his spot at number 6 on this list. At number 5, we have Marie, and I know what you're gonna say. Oh, she has the ability to literally give someone a heart attack. But I just think the other characters on this list have more powerful abilities than her, and we have not seen the full extent of her abilities yet. I think if we see more of her powers, she'll probably be one of the most powerful people in the whole boys universe. But for now, I just have to put her here on this list. And her main power is blood manipulation. She has the ability to control blood, and she can use this ability on her own blood or someone else's blood. She likes to carry around a switchblade to make an open wound and use her own blood, and she usually uses her blood as a weapon, such as a knife or a blade. Also has a really cool medical ability that she can use with the blood. We see her save someone's life in the 2nd episode, I think it is. And she also has this blood sense where she has an awareness related to the blood, such as being able to tell someone's pulse just from their blood. Also, she has a pretty good healing factor because after she cuts herself open, she pretty much heals from it instantly. And she also has some pretty solid superhuman strength where she's easily able to lift the severed rotor blade of a helicopter. I think her strong suit is actually her intelligence, though. She's one of the smarter characters that we see in the show, and again, I feel like we have so much more to see from her. I do think she'll be way stronger over time. I feel like we just haven't seen enough yet. And at number 4, we have Kate Dunlap. Kate was probably the hardest character to figure out where to put them on this list. Kate has the power of telepathy, but her main ability that she uses in the show is persuasion and memory and emotion manipulation. Just by touching someone with her hand, she can basically control them. One of the most powerful abilities in the whole entire series. See her even use this on the stronger characters such as Sam or Luke. While I think she could technically be number 1 on this list, I think having to actually come into contact with someone is a really big weakness. And if she uses her powers too much, she can get really fatigued. In one-on-one combat, if someone knows her ability, she's just going to lose, if they're also really powerful. And speaking of really powerful, next up on this list, we have Jordan Lee. Jordan Lee is also one of the main characters of the show, and they have the power of gender transformation. So Jordan can basically shift between male and female form, and each form has its own set of superpowers. In female form, Jordan possesses the ability to release concussive blasts of energy from their palms. These blasts, which take the form of a pale energy pulse, have the capability of stunning, throwing, and killing humans and supes. And Jordan can also just control the intensity of these blasts. Also in female form, Jordan possesses superhuman agility, which causes them to be more agile than humans in some soups. They're able to easily dodge life-threatening punches from Sam and Golden Boy. They can even dodge abilities like laser vision. And in female form also, they have limited but rapid accelerated healing factor, which means that things like cuts and bruises will get healed very, very quickly. In male form, Jordan has indestructibility, which means that they are physically impervious to all forms of damage and unable to feel physical pain. In male form, Jordan is by far the most durable person at God U. Basically, nothing can make Jordan budge in their male form. And Jordan in both male and female form has superhuman strength. This ability is really good, but I think Jordan uses it to its absolute fullest. I think as far as combat ability goes, they're probably the strongest in all of God U. I just think the next two people on our list have the stronger abilities and are a little bit more OP. And speaking of OP, we have number 2, Golden Boy, aka Luke, on this list. Golden Boy was literally getting recruited to the 7 at the start of the show. His ability is really strong because he has thermonuclear powers, which means he can engulf himself in a fiery aura and conjure fire, which he uses in combat. I guess I'm counting this on the list, but he does get additional compound V through blood transfusions with his brother. But that is how we see him on the show, so I'm just putting him at number 2. He's also so strong that he's stronger than humans and most supes. He is undoubtedly the strongest person at God U. While someone like Jordan Lee can go toe-to-toe with him, Golden Boy is still just stronger. And unlike someone like Lamplighter, he's completely immune to fire and heat. And then, as we see in the show, he can also blow himself up, which is a pretty good power, even though he can only use it one time. And the only person in the show at God U that's more durable than him is Jordan's male form. But Golden Boy, unlike Jordan, has this ability all of the time. Doesn't have to switch to it. That's just how durable he is. And then just his hand-to-hand combat is on par with someone like Jordan. Two very skilled combatants. While you could say, oh, Kate could take control of him, which she does in the show, you could also say that Golden Boy could literally just blast her to death instantly. But there is one person stronger than Golden Boy, which brings me to my number 1, which is Sam. Now, I know Sam is not technically in God U, but he's their age, and I'm just counting him on the list because he's kind of a part of the crew. Don't get triggered in the comments if you're like, oh, he's not a student at God U. I want to add him onto the list because it's fun, so deal with it. So, Sam, we just know he's stronger than Luke. I'm pretty sure it's just been stated multiple times in the show that he's stronger than Luke. So, if I have Luke at number 2, then he just has to be number 1. We know that he is absolutely physically stronger than Golden Boy, who is the top-ranked soup at Godolkin University. And his unpredictable mental state makes him even more dangerous and strong. When he punches someone, he can knock him back super far, such as someone like Jordan Lee, or Marie, or Andre. And he can flip cars with one hand, causing them to explode. He also has this interesting leaping ability due to his superhuman strength, where he can leap around like someone such as Queen Maeve. We don't know the extent of his durability, we just know he is insanely durable and he's bulletproof. He's also able to withstand energy blast from Jordan. Again, I know he's not a student, so don't get mad. I just thought he deserved to be on this list. But there really isn't much more to say about him. He's just a very, very strong person. One of the strongest people in the whole entire series, even stronger than Golden Boy. So I do think he deserves number 1 on this list. And with that being said, I'm done with the video. Thanks for watching. If you have any other recommendations on rankings for The Boys or any other series, then comment down below. And you can also check out my other 2 videos on The Boys that I have so far, which will be linked in the description. Later.